All right, hey everyone, welcome to Grace Middle School Live. Super pumped to be with all of you. We got Rosie here.
And
all right, we got Ian Kavanagh approaching us on the live stream. Thank you for joining us, Ian.
yeah, the accent is
All right. Ian, he looks at me. He's about to speak. What will he say? The crowd's waiting. Ian. Ian hates when I do this, by the way.
All started from the fall retreat.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's like
I
like
just-
narrating my life. It's interesting.
I just pick up like a Eastern kind of Australian accent, and I just follow Ian around and commentate his life.
It's
Everything's so cool that you do.
it makes me feel like the Truman Show almost. Have you seen the
It
Truman
is.
Show?
It is what. Maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe.
So, if you haven't watched The Truman Show, highly recommend. But Ian, super pumped to have you. Rosie has a couple announcements for us, and then we'll jump in and get to know each other, hang out a bit.
Yeah, guys, how's it going? Long time no see, a full week. But I feel like in the whole COVID-19 series and lifelong, I feel like 1 week kind of feels like a year. It just goes by so slow. But
Yeah.
what we're doing is, what I wanted to talk about was the Convoy of Hope. It's this weekend. I am so excited. I'll be there Friday
I'll be there.
morning.
I will also be there. We're all
We're
here.
going to have so much fun. But, so if you want to sign up, you still can. There's a few slots left. The link will also be in the description, and I'll throw it in on the chat. But we have some slots on Friday and Saturday. It's going to be so much fun. We have opportunities to sort the food on Friday, and then Saturday is giving it out. We're going to put the food in people's trucks. We're going to get to love on them and just be present during this kind of tough time right now. If you have any questions, please just throw them on the live stream chat, and I'll try to answer them. But some of the things to remember is it's at the Brick Park Rec Center parking lot, not here. Also, please wear a mask. That's been highly requested. And then also, you have to be able to sign a waiver when you get here. So if you're under 18, bring your mom and dad. That's about
Yeah,
it.
don't just do the drive-by drop-off thing where you call your mom back and are like, please sign this. Just
Yeah, we don't want
chill,
that.
get out of the car, sign the paper. It'll be cool.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
gonna be a lot of
super
fun.
excited. Entire semi of food, which is going to be awesome to give out. And yeah, if you want to see real people in real life from our youth group, it's a great opportunity to do that as well and just be the church together. So Ian, long time no see.
Yeah.
It's been about a week, but before that, it was a really long time.
Yeah, it was a really long
And
time.
so it's exciting to see you. It kind of feels a little bit like youth group, even though there's just a couple of us
Yeah.
in the room. What have you been up to? Maybe what's your favorite way to pass time? And maybe what's what's the most desperate you've been? Have you picked any weird hobbies or stooped to some kind of odd form of entertainment?
Yeah, actually, I have. Well, I haven't really been doing much, but sometimes when I have nothing to do, I learned magic.
Really?
Magic tricks. Yeah. With
That's
cards.
actually a lot more productive than what I was expecting. That's
yeah,
really cool.
but then also, eventually I was like, this is dumb. Why am I doing magic tricks? I would take my dog's toy and hide it and see how long it would take for him to find it. And usually he can't find it when it's in my pocket, but it's been very
Gotta do what you gotta
interesting.
do.
Gotta do
Yeah.
what gotta do.
That's a pro tip. Pro
Yep.
tip. So we're gonna do something a little different than best of the internet each week. We're gonna do dope or nope, and this is a collection of weird items, kind of as seen on TV stuff. And we're just gonna take a look together and decide if it's dope or nope. And so we're gonna go ahead and throw these on the screen. Here's the first one. It is a beard winter hat. So that's a fabric beard sewn onto the beanie. Is that dope or nope? What do we think? Useful item, waste of an invention.
I gotta say, I feel like it would keep your face warm, so I have to say dope.
Yeah, dope.
It's dope, yeah.
What do you think, Rosie?
Nope.
Says the person with the mustache on their taped to their computer.
Oh, that's great.
Well, a mustache is not a
Yeah.
beard.
So it's a no there. What about this? This is an ice cream lock. It's a combination lock. You pop on the top of your Ben
Oh,
and
heck
Jerry's,
yeah.
and you keep your family out of your favorite ice cream.
I would say that's dope, but there's a problem. You see, that could be used against me.
So you're the ice cream thief, is really what you're saying.
Whoa. Wait. I never said that, but yes. Yeah, no, I said the nope.
Yeah, I feel like I just feel like the people who are like, yeah, bad idea, are definitely the people who are like, I steal ice cream.
See,
Why else would you care about a perfectly reasonable lock?
like get scissors and you cut off like the part that
Yeah.
has the lock on it, and then you can just like.
Just flip it upside down and eat from the bottom. Just cut it around.
I feel like
In
do you have
college-
experience.
yeah.
I feel like you know a bit much about
I've
this.
seen
You have to be
TikTok.
committed. You have to be committed to killing it, though. You've got to finish it at
Yeah,
that point.
that's
In
brutal.
college, I lived with 8 of my closest friends, and we had this problem where, like, some days we'd wake up and the air conditioner would be on 50 degrees, and we all split the electric bills, and so we would get so mad about it. And one day, I took I set the temperature where I want it, and I took the thermostat off the wall and just put it in the drawer in my bedroom, and literally only one person flipped out about it, and we were all like, "So you're the one," you know? I'm just saying. Ian Kavanaugh steals ice cream.
Yeah.
So-
exactly.
Door ping pong table. So if you look closely, it's actually like a ping pong table in the door, and then it lays flat, so you can play across rooms.
Oh,
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I feel like it wouldn't work, but if it did work, if it's actually how beautiful it looks right there, I have to say that's dope.
Right? I feel like it could go bad. I'm like, I'm kind of wondering, like, where's the doorknob, you know? And
That's true.
I'm wondering, like,
maybe you take it off. Maybe like you screw it off.
Yeah.
Wait, how would that work?
but and obviously, you know, you can't open the door till you put it back. But I feel like I would really enjoy that. It'd be
It'd
great,
be fun.
like, during quarantine too, you could just, like, pop a door sideways.
Yeah, so that's dope.
it's an idea.
So, so Rosie's not a fan. So let's go ahead and do this. If there's any live viewers, if anyone can guess Ian's opinion on each of these items, dope or nope, the rest of the items, we'll give out a prize if someone can get the rest of Ian's opinions correct.
Okay.
So you're gonna hold off your
Okay.
opinion until we get a chance to let people guess. What is our delay today? Someone on the other end of the stream. Are we at about an 8-second delay, 10-second delay today? We're still counting. It's more fingers than someone has. So, all right. So we'll go ahead and we'll figure that out. Rosie, you could actually tell us the delay as well. So we're going to go ahead and look at our next item. So metal detecting sandals. So this is like everyone, you know, like the stereotypical like retired dad on the beach with his metal detector looking for old jewelry. Even though he's retired and he can probably just afford, it's so much more fun to find it, you know, and like sell it at a sketchy pawn shop. I don't know what they do with it, but this is a metal detecting sandal. So you can just stroll the beach, figure out what you're going for. So
Imagine just like walking down the beach and then someone's like walking next to you and then your sandals just start beeping. It's
Yeah.
like, imagine just like walking, it's like beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep.
I know. So I almost loved it, but I have a big criticism about it, and I'll share in a second. But let's go ahead and do this. You have 5 seconds, if you're watching, to tell me if Ian thinks this is dope or nope. You can go ahead and throw that in the chat. So you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You guys could be about 30 seconds behind us, so when Rosie will be watching the chat backwards, and we'll figure it out. But Ian, opinion.
Dope.
Dope. It's
That's
going dope.
definitely dope.
So I'm glad you said that. Here's my one bone to pick though.
Okay.
It looks like an ankle bracelet if you were on house arrest.
Oh crap, you're
And
right.
so I feel like you're walking the beach and you look like you like totally are skipping house arrest.
Dude, you get tackled by an
And it
FBI
beeps.
agent.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, wrong person, my bad.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
And it starts beeping. Everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa!" All right, next item: light up slippers. So navigating the house at night. You know, I think you stand in them and the lights turn on, like the weight, like your body weight turns them on for navigating a dark house. So don't give your opinion yet. Rosie, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Would you so you have a wedding coming up, and I'm wondering what to get you. I stay up thinking about it. That might be how I found out about all these items. So I'm just curious.
Where are you looking? Like,
So I'm just curious, like, are these...
I think if you have a ton of kids that like Legos, I think that can be a lifesaver.
They make Lego sandals for
Oh.
like I don't know why
Well, in
normal
that
flip
case.
flops wouldn't help.
I
Well,
feel
no,
like if
they're
I'm
they're
gonna-
sandals to protect you from evil Legos on the floor.
If I'm going to be wearing sandals, here's the thing. they're probably gonna be so I'm more quieter in the house, which means then I don't think I want lights on.
So that she can steal ice
why
cream.
is-
That she can steal ice cream because she needs the
I
sandals.
know, exactly. So she can still, I mean, I'm like, why is Rosie wanting to tiptoe quietly around her house? I just don't.
What if they turn on and off as you walk? If they turn on while your body weight.
Oh, they're amazing. So, Ian, well, you can give your answer in 5 seconds. Audience, you have 5 seconds to predict Ian's opinion. Ian, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was not 5 seconds. But
Now it is.
it's weird because what I'm going to say is nope.
All right, there it is.
But
But you want to be like, it's a nice nope.
it's a nice nope.
Okay.
It's a
But it's a nope.
It's a nope.
All right. Fake mold sandwich bag. So you can see the sandwich, and then you see it pictured there again, but in a bag that makes it moldy. Lots of things to prevent like house stealing of food. I get that vibe.
No, I feel like someone would throw it away.
So you have so audience, 5 seconds.
Wait.
Dope or nope on the sandwich bag. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ian.
Gotta say nope.
Nope.
It's just I hate mold and just that is
Yeah.
not no.
It's kind of got like a greenish hue to it too, which is just not
Yeah.
okay.
It's like it looks too much.
Yeah,
like,
and it makes me not hungry.
mhm,
and I'm
yeah.
trying to eat,
It's
but-
like yes, this sandwich that I hid from my family, and now I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
I
right.
would not like that.
I don't understand this one at all. I need someone to help me. This is an automatic ice cream spinner.
Oh right, because you put your tongue on it and it spins, so that way you don't have to like keep on.
Oh. All right.
No,
So
no.
automatic ice cream spinner. So curious if our audience thinks this.
Last round. Did you say nope?
Yeah.
He said nope.
Okay.
So I was so curious if the audience, what the audience thinks about that. Rosie, what do you think about this automatic ice cream spinner? So it's a cone. You press the button, spins.
I'm gonna have to say nope on this one.
Like if you and David had matching ones for your wedding that
Oh,
I
then
already
yes,
ordered.
yeah. Then all bets
Just like
off.
secretly,
I want
so
that.
like you would want this, right?
If Rosie doesn't, they're all going to Rachel. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Just give them to Rachel.
No.
So, all right, audience, you have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ian, dope or nope?
I have to say dope. That is
Yeah,
so awesome.
I could, your face, I could tell you loved it. You loved it
so
from the start.
awesome.
So this is something, I seriously considered buying one of these ones. I researched
Really?
this for a while. Sleeping bag with arms and legs. So if you've camped, you know how it be. Like you're in your tent, it's cold, it's the fall, and you're like, all right, I want to go get like a drink
Mm-hmm.
of water, or
Yeah.
like I want beef jerky, I don't know. And like you have to get out of your sleeping bag, or it's cold in the morning, you just walk around.
Yeah.
Rosie, would
Okay.
you?
Okay.
Your wedding's coming up.
No.
Sleeping
No,
bag
it
with
looks like a
arms and
hat,
legs.
like a haz suit.
Oh, there's red ones.
I still don't want it.
Okay.
That's an excuse, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just-
so audience, you have 5 seconds to predict Ian's opinion.
Going so
Yeah.
fast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ian.
Seeing that I love camping so much, and I have come across that problem multiple times, I have to say that's pretty dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. Yeah, that's definitely dope. That's
Siri, write down Ian's birthday. He wants a sleeping bag.
looks like it has.
Suit. All right. Hair guard for eating. So I was going to say maybe like Rosie understands she has longer hair, but I think you have longer hair than Rosie, so that's dope.
That's-
Oh.
While we're establishing.
no, she has hers in a bun.
Oh my gosh.
She's
Rosie's so competitive.
goodness. Yeah, she beat
She
me.
got you beat.
Yeah, she beat
Rosie's
me.
so competitive. She's like, I will undo my hair just to have longer hair because I feel
Yeah, no.
So Rosie, as the person with the longest hair at this table,
I actually can't really see the photo.
hair
So-
guard for eating.
Oh, well, I mean, the game has been changed. I think it depends on what you're eating, but a dope.
All right, 5 seconds for Ian's opinion. I'll throw mine out. I feel like it looks like it's like you're trying to be a flower. It looks like you were like, you didn't get the lead part in the play, but you were cast as the flower, and that's the prop. And like,
Kid next to you is wearing a tree outfit. you
yeah,
know?
and like if you're Tree 2, like that's a cool, you're like dressing up as Groot, but if you're like Flower 1, I don't know,
That's-
I just wouldn't want to wear that. Ian.
I have to say, nope. I see how that could be useful, but you said flower. I was thinking like a lion. I feel like that's something
Ooh.
you put on your dog to laugh at them.
That's
Like
true.
that's a new entertainment thing I could do. I could.
There you go.
We actually do have a lion's a costume coming in the mail from
Oh.
for our dog. I'm not even joking.
Dog people.
Yeah,
That's great.
my sister ordered it.
You should let your dog out and freak people out. Is it a big dog?
No, he's like very small. He's a puppy.
I was gonna
And
say, if it's a big dog and you put it in a lion suit, I feel like you could make the news. All right. A map for back scratching. So this is a T-shirt with letters across the front, numbers down the side.
So you'd
and
be
you
like,
can say like, because when
scratch
you're like,
B4,
yeah,
right?
you're like, that's not the spot. You just say like B4. Or like, all right, I want you to scratch C3 through F3. Just straight line.
But then you would have to remember where everything is. Like
Ooh,
you
that's
have
a
to
good
really
point.
like think about it.
Yeah.
You know?
So audience.
You're gonna have like a little piece of paper in your pocket that has it there. Like
Yeah, so we'll give the audience 5 seconds to guess Ian's opinion.
All
I'm
right.
going to go ahead and say not dope. I think it's a great idea, but too complicated
Mhm.
in its execution. Ian, what do you think?
I think it's a dope, but not a great dope.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you're giving it a dope, though. I
Yeah,
think
giving
you
it
might have
dope.
thrown some people off with that one because you seemed indifferent to it.
Yeah, no, I think that was kind of cool. It was
All
kind
right.
of cool.
Take a look. Yes. Yes, it is. Sadly, I know what this sold for on eBay because I put this in a youth group game once. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like, I want to say it was like 1,800 or something like
No
that. It was
way.
definitely close to 2,000 or maybe more.
Wait.
But this guinea pig armor,
Oh
which is
my.
right up Haley Heinbaugh's alley.
So it's like
Oh
literally
my
just like
gosh.
actual armor.
It's actual like hand knitted, like stainless steel with chainmail behind it, guinea pig armor.
Mm.
Sold on eBay. Dope or nope?
I have a question. Why would a guinea pig?
5 seconds, audience. Yeah.
Why would a guinea pig need armor? Like what's the point of a guinea pig?
Well,
having
isn't at the
armor?
bottom of the food chain, for example A?
That's true. I
But
mean,
like
if-
okay, but the only armor you're gonna put on a guinea pig is the one that you keep in your room.
yeah.
like-
If I was gonna like let this thing loose, and I was like, I'm moving across the country. I can't take you on anymore.
Is there a mini
Mhm.
sword?
I'd
that
put
goes
it.
with it?
I'd give it armor and release it into the wild.
A mini like bow
Yeah.
and arrow, you know?
Yeah, maybe there's underground guinea pig fights, but dope or nope?
That is 100% dope. That is so cool. Like, that's
I
awesome.
agree.
Last one. So this is super hard to read, but I'm going to read this out loud. I'll go ahead and read this one. It's nothing for the person who has everything. Congratulations. You've received the gift of nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is the ultimate in minimalism. Less is more. More is less. Nothing is precious. Nothing is simple. Nothing is sacred. Open the pack and be enthralled when nothing happens. Allow nothing to follow through your mind and calm your soul. Savor the moment. Soon you'll discover that nothing really is so much better than something. The gift of nothing is yours to discover. And it's a container with nothing in it.
Can I add a
Are
story
you allowed to like
to
buy
this?
this? Like, are you just like?
It's for sale. Yeah. And it's on the shelf. And I don't know what it retails for, but it's literally, there's just nothing inside of the container.
Okay.
Audience, you have 5 seconds to predict Ian's opinion. Rosie, you have a story about nothing?
Yeah, so my sister, I would always ask her every year, what do you want? What do you want for your birthday? And she's like, Rose, I would be happy if you got me a rock. And that was probably the worst thing she ever could have said, because now every year I'll get her something nice, but there'll still be a rock somewhere
That's awesome.
in the package.
That-
You
That's
know
so
what that made
awesome.
me think of is, when you ask someone if they want anything and they say nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have that around just to be like, all right, just throw that to them, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't want anything for your birthday? Here's nothing.
I mean, you told me what you wanted,
Yeah.
and I got it.
Yeah, one time for Christmas, I got my brother a gift, and it was like 10 boxes, and he had to open
You're
all the
that guy.
boxes. Yeah, and then in the smallest box, he opened it, and it was a rubber ducky. That's it. It was just a
That's
rubber ducky.
amazing.
Oh man, with each downsize of boxes, my heart would have sank. Like, I thought it was something this big. Like,
No.
all right, so dope or nope?
That is dope. Just because I would love to be annoying to my sisters.
All right, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rosie, you'll take some time. Let us
Yeah.
know if anyone got all of them right. If anyone wants to save time and just be honest if they did get them all right, they can totally do that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go ahead. We're just going to do 1, 2 truths and a lie. So
Okay.
a little bit of getting to know Ian. I asked him to think of 2 truths and a lie. We did this last week with our new youth pastor, Joseph Lamont. If you didn't get to see that, go back, check that out, get to know him. But Ian, 2 truths and a lie. And
Two
audience, you can
truths
take a
and
stab
a
at these.
lie. Okay. I've been out of the country before.
Okay.
I cut my chin open at a Mally's.
Okay. Mally's ice cream.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
And I broke I broke a bone falling down a hill.
All right. So repeat them one more time.
Hold on, I did that wrong.
Oh, so I knew it.
Okay.
Forget everything you know about Ian.
Literally
Start over.
everything. I've gone skydiving before.
Okay.
I've been out of the country,
All right.
and I broke my bone falling down a hill.
All right. So has gone skydiving, has been out of the country, has broken his bone falling down a hill. 2 are true. 1 is a lie. We'll watch the chat, see what the audience thinks. In the meantime, I'd like to guess.
Okay.
I feel like it makes sense to guess what I'm going to get, but I feel like you're going to have some weird loophole to stump me. Audience, your time is up to guess or submit it ASAP. I feel like you haven't been skydiving, because I don't know if anyone your age has already been skydiving.
Actually, first of all, that is right. I've never been skydiving, but I actually do have a friend that has gone skydiving. He's my age.
Okay.
He has gone
But I
skydiving.
was right.
But you were right. Yeah.
All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll watch if anyone in the audience got that right. If so, maybe we'll bring you a prize too. And so we'll make that happen. Ian, if you stumped everyone, I'll give you something instead. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming out and joining us. Appreciate the advice on how to entertain yourself at the neglect of your dog.
Oh yeah.
And
It's great.
been good to see you. So we're going to jump in back to our Aligning with the Real Jesus series. If you guys will go ahead and bow your heads and pray with me, I'd love to just get started. I have some things I want to say as well. And so, God, we come to you, and would you help us just to be truly aligned with you? God, I pray that even despite our life experiences and all the things that we think, I pray that you would help us just to see you clearly. If we're wrong about something, if we need to change, help us to see that. And as we recognize where we still have room to grow, as all of us do, Lord, would you give us the power to actually make those changes, and would you give us hearts that are willing? In your name we pray, amen. So we are in week 3 of our Aligning with the Real Jesus series, and I'm super excited about this series, and I want to say just a couple things out of the gate, and that is, I've introed the series the same way every week, and just pointing back to when Jesus started his preaching ministry on earth, he had a lot to clear up. Jesus teaching from the same scriptures. They only had the first 5 books of the Bible when Jesus walked the earth, but Jesus teaching from those same scriptures was saying things radically different than everyone else who was teaching at his time, because the people had twisted what God really was, who he really is in his teachings, and they had twisted him to fit their lives and their cultures and who they wanted to be. And because of that, their idea of following God was not as beautiful as what it actually meant to genuinely follow God. And so Jesus came down to earth, and he set the record straight, and he gave people an opportunity to align with him. And so what we're doing through this series is we're looking through defining moments of Jesus on earth, really, really intense, really straightforward, really important things that he said. And we're asking ourselves and challenging ourselves to align with the real Jesus. And so today, we're looking at what truly makes a person great. Like, what kind of people does God elevate and does God honor in heaven? And maybe you, if you're honest, you have dreams to be a really significant person or to be well known or to have a lot of influence and how to be good at something. And so what I want to talk about is, how do you fulfill these dreams in God's eyes? How do you be significant in God's eyes? How do you live a life that matters, not just on earth, but for eternity? And to find out, we're going to look at a conversation Jesus had with a mother and two of her sons when they were seeking significance. And it's in Matthew 20, also starting in verse 20, which is super convenient. If you want to follow along, it'll be on the screen as well, and I'll go ahead and read it to you right here. Then the mother of Zebedee's sons, and really that's just James and John, two of the disciples, came to Jesus with her sons, and kneeling down, asked a favor to him. And so what's crazy about this is James and John are adults, but they brought their mom to ask Jesus for something. You know, it's kind of like when you didn't do an assignment and you're scared to confront your teacher, so you make your mom do it, you know? Or you want more playing time, and so you send your mom after them on the sports team. Kind of that kind of situation, but they're adults. And they approach Jesus, and there's a lot to this. So the mother, the son, I know it says the mother of Zebedee's, James and John's mom, was also the half-sister of Mary, Jesus' mom. And she was often called Salome. And so Salome's the half-sister of Jesus' mom. So why would they include her? For leverage, right? You're asking someone a question, and you get their mom's sister to kind of have a little bit of authority or leverage on this question. And so that's how it starts. And Jesus says, "What is it you want?" he asked. And she said, "Grant that one of these two sons of mine may sit at your right and the other at your left in the kingdom." And if you don't know or you haven't watched some of the previous weeks about the kingdom, Jesus always talked about his kingdom. And what he meant is this following of people that follow him and call him king. And on earth, it's not like a physical kingdom with a castle that we all know where it is. It's just we're God's followers and he's our king. But that kingdom will gain more and more power, and one day will be complete and established on earth, and that will be known as heaven. And that's where God will rule blatantly in front of everyone. And so people would hear about the kingdom and they would get excited, like Jesus is going to be the king of the world. One day everyone's going to realize, and the disciples started to think, like, maybe we can be famous because we're like in with Jesus, and I wonder who's going to sit next to him. And so they started trying to kind of secure these spots with Jesus. And Jesus responds, he says, "You don't know what you are asking," Jesus said to them. "Can you drink the cup I am going to drink?" And when Jesus asked this question, it's not like he's sitting there with some mystical cup and he's like, "Can you handle the Mountain Dew Code Red?" Right? There's not an actual drink there. It has nothing to do with that. What Jesus is saying, it's an expression Jesus is using that's talking about the circumstances that are about to come his way. Really intense, really pressing, really difficult circumstances that Jesus is going to go through, and so are those who follow him closely. So Jesus says, "Can you drink the cup I am going to drink?" And they answer, "We can." And Jesus said to them, "You will indeed drink from my cup." So Jesus responds with a challenge. Can you handle what you're going to have to go through to really, really be elevated, really be in with me? And they say yes, and Jesus says, "You will." But remember, Jesus is God, so he knows the future. And what Jesus knows is he knows that Salome, the mother in the story, is going to be there and watch Jesus be crucified on the cross. She's going to physically be standing, watching with her own eyes. He also knows that both of her sons, John and James, are both going to go through a lot. James ends up being beheaded for the gospel, and John was dropped into boiling oil before being miraculously rescued, and then he was still exiled to the island of Patmos. So all of these people suffered a lot. And so Jesus says, you're right. You will drink the cup. You will go through the hard stuff with me. But Jesus responds to the part about sitting on the throne, and he says, but to sit at my right or left is not for me to grant. These places belong to those whom they have been prepared by my Father. And Jesus is referring to God his Father, even though he's also God. And that's a whole nother conversation if that's confusing, but it's important to know that Jesus is also God. But Jesus kind of doesn't have to deal with the confrontation of the leverage from Salome. He's able to just say, actually, God is going to make that choice. That's my dad's choice. And so the conversation is over. And remember, there's 12 disciples, and 2 asked to sit on the throne. The other 10 heard about this. And the scripture says that they were indignant, which means they were upset. They weren't happy about it. They were mad at the 2 brothers. Jesus called them together and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles, and the Gentiles at the time, now Gentiles are saved, but it just meant the non-Jewish people, the people who God hadn't been fully revealed to yet, so they weren't believers. God said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Jesus is saying, hey, you know how people in authority, they like rule over you and they exercise their power and they try to make it like they're awesome and you're their subjects? Jesus says, yeah, that's how the world works, but not so with you. This isn't how we do things. And this is true even in our world today. Like people seek positions, people seek power, and they want to be more significant. They want to be better than people. That's why it's okay that we have like cliques or groups of people that naturally get along, but that's why those cliques start to exclude each other or be like, you can't sit with us, because people often want to be more significant or better than others. And Jesus says, yeah, the world might naturally work like that, but we're not going to do that anymore. Today we have ideas in America, in our country, where a lot of people believe that people in government are actually servants of the people. And that's actually an idea that never existed before Jesus' time. And I'm not saying that anyone does that perfectly today or we fully experience the kind of servant leadership or America's perfect or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that this idea that we have in our Western nation actually comes from Christianity. That prior to Jesus, if you were a leader, you were actually better. People served you. But Jesus came down as the king of the world and said, actually, I serve people that are below me. I serve people that should have to serve me, but I choose to serve them. Sometimes we say that the kingdom of God is upside down. And we don't mean that there's anything wrong with it or that it's literally turned over or something. But what we mean is it's upside down from what we normally think of when we think kingdom. Normally when we think king, we think everyone serves and everyone has to give everything to the king and the king doesn't have to lift a finger or do anything for the people. But Jesus came down to earth, right? And he washed feet. He walked among the disciples, among fishermen, among poor people, among people who were hated. It was so different. Jesus modeled this himself. The next sentence Jesus said, and this is the last one that we'll read. This will be up on the screen as well in verse 28. Just as the Son of Man, that's Jesus, he's referring to himself, did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Jesus says, you, as my followers, you don't seek to be elevated. You're sitting there and you're asking me to sit at my right hand. And friends, if you know the story or you read the whole passage, when this conversation happens, it's not long after Jesus just told his disciples he's going to die on the cross and then be rose again. But they weren't really listening to what Jesus is going to go through. They thought maybe it's figurative. They were all caught up in this coming kingdom and this opportunity to be famous. And if you think about it, Jesus is telling them, I'm about to serve the world by giving my life. And the disciples' response is to ask, not to help, not for a position in the kingdom where they serve, not for a job in the kingdom where they work with God, but instead to sit next to him on the throne. And so this conversation, there's really a clash between this worldly way of thinking and how Jesus is teaching his followers to think. And that clash exists with us too, as Jesus invites us into a relationship with him. Our desire to elevate ourselves, our desire to be served and to lord over people and to be awesome, rather than to suffer and serve even someone who's looked down on in society. That desire that we have is in conflict with who Jesus calls us to be. Because to be aligned with the real Jesus, we have to follow and live out what Jesus actually modeled, what he actually did, which was to serve and not be served. And so now, as a follower of Jesus or a potential follower of Jesus, if you've made a decision or you might, one of the things that you have to come to terms with is your mindset has to change. You have to go from being one who says, all right, like, people need to see that I'm awesome. I need to, when I'm in the car, like, I need to sit shotgun because I want to be up in the front with the driver. Like, I want to be the one. You have to shift your mindset to say, no, I don't need that. I'd actually love to serve someone and give them an opportunity to sit there. One of my friends who I used to work with, he's now the lead pastor at a church up here in Northeast Ohio. When he got his new job as the lead pastor, I bought him a sign totally as a joke. It looked like a handicap sign that goes in a parking space, and it said, "Pastors parking only." And I told him, I'm going to put this in the closest parking spot to the church for you when he opened it. And we laughed, and it was funny, but at the same time, the fact that that sign exists and that I was able to find it online and buy it is also a cringy reminder that we're not always aligned with who Jesus really is. Because I promise you, friend, the more you look into Jesus' life, Jesus was the kind of guy who would park in the back to make sure anyone got a better spot. And we want to be that. Jesus would never say, Jesus parking only, and make everyone else walk further. That wasn't how he lived, because when Jesus was on earth, he was demonstrating to us how we need to live. And so, friends, as we step into this amazing journey of following Jesus, may we be those who during our time on earth, we represent God well. We show who he truly is by following and aligning ourselves with who Jesus really is. And to do that, we have to be those who come to serve, not to be served. And so, friends, may that be true of us. Would you pray with me? God, I thank you that you love us, Lord. I thank you that you're patient. I thank you that you came to earth and you clearly demonstrated your heart. You clearly demonstrated who you call us to be. I thank you that you took the time to address these things and to show people what it really meant to be Jesus followers. God, thank you for that wisdom. As we're in this series, we realize all the ways that we don't measure up. And I pray, rather than being discouraged or feeling like we're never going to be good enough, Lord, I pray that those listening, that they would be encouraged, because it's awesome what you've invited us into, and also you give us the power to change. Anyone listening, Lord, they can pray to you and they can ask and they can go back again and again, ask you for forgiveness, but also ask you for power to be better. And so would you do that in all of our lives? And would you give us opportunities, give us clear chances to represent you well to others, to serve and not be served? Pray this in your name. Amen.
We love
love to invite you guys to stand and worship with us tonight. Rejoicing in the freedom that you can find, identifying as Jesus as your King over your life. I think it's just beautiful that we can turn to a King who came to serve and not be served, because it's not a way of the world, and it kind of takes the pressure off to always perform or always succeed. And so let's celebrate the times where we've been able to turn to Jesus and he set us free. I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my tomb till I met you. And I was breathing but not alive. And all my failures I tried to hide. It was my tomb till I met you. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. And now your mercy has saved my soul. Now your freedom is all that I know. The old made new, Jesus, when I met you. Oh, you called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness to your glorious day. You called my name and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. I needed rescue, my sin was heavy. The chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan. Now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you called my name, I ran out of that grave, we're going to turn our attention to the ways God asks us to live because he came and died for us. I love that first prayer that Jordy prayed before he preached about us being open to changing our ways if they need changed. And sometimes that can be so hard for us because we want to argue and we want to be right and we want to defend ourselves. But there's so much freedom when it comes to finding Jesus in the midst of it. And so, Lord, I pray for the one who needs to hear your voice tonight, who's just stubborn where they're at. And God, I pray for the person who needs to hear your voice tonight, who doesn't know where to turn to make things right, Lord. And I pray that for all of those people who are needing to hear you, God, that you would call them out of the place that they're in and into new territory with you. God, and I pray that it would be a sense of freedom as we start to take more steps towards you, God, as we become more like you. That's what true freedom is, Lord. And so I pray that for everyone at home tonight, that they would start to sense where it is that they're being held back, or we're being held back by our own sin and our own lens, God. We have such a small view and a small vantage point from where we're at as humans, Lord. So would you be our eyes, Jesus, and would you be our ears to hear you? Holy Spirit, come and fill this place. Your presence, God. I take the bread of life, broken for all my sin, your body crucified to make me whole again. has carried me until I see you face to face, until at last I've won my race. Remind me you're not finished yet. Hallelujah. 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 I live in remembrance.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget Convoy of Hope. You can find the link in the newsletter. You can find the newsletter on our middle school webpage on gracecma.org. Super excited to spend some time with you each week. Be on the lookout. We'll have a podcast coming soon if you want to listen to the messages while you're walking or running or something like that. It's going to be an option very soon. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.